Nando! Wake up!
In the heart of the Andes Mountains, a story of unimaginable endurance and human spirit unfolded. This is the tale of Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571, a story that captivates the world and stands as a testament to the will to survive. The journey begins. It was October 12, 1972, a day filled with hope and excitement for 45 people, including some rugby players from Uruguay. They boarded a plane in Montevideo, Uruguay, bound for Santiago, Chile. They were looking forward to their destination, unaware of the terrible fate awaiting them. The atmosphere inside the plane was lively, with passengers chatting and eagerly anticipating their arrival. The rugby players were in high spirits, discussing their upcoming matches and sharing jokes with fellow travelers. As the plane took off, the passengers settled into their seats, gazing out of the windows at the beautiful scenery below. Little did they know their journey would soon take a tragic turn, changing their lives forever. On October 13, 1972, high up in the Andes Mountains, something terrible happened. The airplane they were in crashed suddenly. It was a devastating moment that took away the lives of 12 people right away. Imagine the shock and fear those on board must have felt. After the crash, things got even worse. The survivors, those who managed to stay alive, found themselves stuck in a very scary place. They were way up high, about 11,500 feet above the ground, surrounded by huge mountains. They were in big trouble because they had very little food and other supplies. The chances of someone coming to rescue them right away were very slim. Can you imagine how they must have felt? It's like being trapped in a nightmare with no way out. The survivors had to figure out what to do next, and it wasn't going to be easy. They were in a remote area, far away from any help. They had to rely on each other and their own strength to survive. It was a terrifying situation, and they had to face it head-on. Just imagine being in their shoes, feeling scared, cold, and hungry, with no one to turn to for help. But despite all the challenges they faced, they didn't give up hope. They knew they had to stay strong and keep fighting to stay alive. It was a true test of their courage and resilience, and little did they know their story was just beginning. The struggle for survival. As time passed and the days stretched into weeks, the survivors faced an ever-growing struggle against the harsh elements of the Andes. They endured bitterly cold temperatures that chilled them to the bone, constantly gnawing hunger that weakened their bodies, and overwhelming feelings of despair that threatened to crush their spirits. Their already grim situation took a turn for the worse when they received the devastating news through a makeshift radio that the search efforts to find them had been abandoned. Suddenly, their flickering hopes of rescue were extinguished, leaving them feeling utterly abandoned and alone in the vast expanse of the mountains. With each passing day, their supplies dwindled to dangerously low levels, and they were faced with an agonizing choice: either starve to death or resort to drastic measures to sustain themselves. In a moment of desperation and anguish, they made the gut-wrenching decision to consume the flesh of the deceased, knowing that it was their only chance at survival. It was a decision born out of sheer necessity, a grim reminder of the brutal realities of their predicament. They grappled with feelings of guilt and revulsion, but ultimately they knew that they had to do whatever it took to stay alive. In the face of such unimaginable adversity, their will to survive burned fiercely, driving them to endure hardships that would break most people. They clung to each other for support, drawing strength from their shared determination to defy the odds and make it out alive. Despite the darkness that threatened to engulf them, they refused to surrender to despair. Instead, they found solace in each other's company, finding moments of fleeting joy amidst the relentless struggle for survival. Their journey was fraught with danger at every turn, but they refused to let fear dictate their actions. With unwavering resolve, they pressed on, clinging to the hope that one day they would be reunited with their loved ones and emerge victorious against the unforgiving wilderness. The 17th day brought a terrifying new challenge for the survivors of Flight 571. Suddenly, without warning, an avalanche thundered down from the towering peaks like a giant blanket of snow crashing upon them. It was a devastating blow, claiming even more lives and almost burying those who remained. Imagine being in their shoes, already weakened by hunger, cold, and despair, now facing the wrath of nature itself. But despite the overwhelming odds, these brave souls refused to give up. They clung to each other and to whatever shreds of hope they could find. With the wreckage of the plane as their only refuge, they huddled together, seeking shelter from the biting cold and the relentless elements. Every day was a battle for survival, as they scoured the snow-covered landscape for any scraps of food or supplies that could sustain them. In the face of such adversity, their will to live burned brighter than ever. They drew strength from each other, sharing whatever little they had and offering words of encouragement to keep spirits high. It was a testament to the power of human resilience and solidarity in the face of unimaginable hardship. Despite the constant threat of avalanches and the harsh conditions of their mountainous prison, they persevered. They knew that giving up meant certain death, so they clung to hope with all their might, refusing to let go even in the darkest of moments. And so they endured, day after grueling day, their determination unyielding, their spirits unbroken. It was a testament to the indomitable human spirit, a shining example of what can be achieved when people come together and refuse to surrender to despair. The brave expedition, determined to find help, 3 of the survivors, Nando Parado, Roberto Canessa, and Antonio Tintin Vicentin, decided to leave the wreckage behind and embark on a dangerous journey across the harsh Andes Mountains. They knew it was their only chance for survival. With little food and only makeshift equipment, they set out into the unknown, facing treacherous terrain and extreme weather conditions. They climbed steep slopes, crossed icy rivers, and battled exhaustion every step of the way. Days turned into weeks as they pressed on, their determination driving them forward despite the overwhelming odds against them. They rationed what little food they had left, eating only enough to sustain themselves for the journey ahead. At times, they feared they would never make it, but they refused to give up hope. They drew strength from each other, encouraging one another to keep going even when the journey seemed impossible. Finally, after a grueling trek that tested their physical and mental limits, Nando Parado and Roberto Canessa stumbled upon a remote Chilean shepherd's hut. With tears of relief, they pleaded for help, knowing that the lives of their fellow survivors depended on it. Their pleas were answered, and on December 22nd and 23, after 72 days of unimaginable hardship, rescue teams arrived to airlift the remaining survivors to safety. It was a moment of triumph against all odds, a testament to the power of human perseverance and the will to survive. Thank you for watching. This incredible story of survival continues to inspire and amaze. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating stories from around the world.